Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike. It is Thursday, the 24th of October. This is your morning setups video. Hope you had a wonderful night. My little congestion thing carries on. Apologies for that, but we'll get through the day. What we have today is jobless claims at 8:30, PM, Chicago Fed activity at 8:30, PMI flash composite at 9:45, and home sales at 10. Otherwise, not really much here. We have a bunch of Treasury auction announcements, but nothing really here. That is a huge, huge deal. So let's jump into it. We'll come back to EPS here in a minute. The ES is up. So after yesterday, we came down, we hit the 21 day on the SPY, we bounced into the close, and now we are grinding ourselves back up. Why? Because, well, that's what we do, right? This market's out to play games. It wants to trick people. When it cannot get big movement, it tries to take people's money. Translation, if I can't push higher quickly, I'm going to bring it down and see if I can stop people out, get people short to use them as my juice to move back up. I don't think, again, this market's going anywhere ahead of big earnings coming up next week and the election the week after. The NQ holding serve, similar. Crude pushing up a little bit, not much going on. Bonds off the lows. Gold just off the all-time high. Bitcoin up a little bit, still kind of trading in this range. The VIX back down, remains under 20. HYG, not a pretty candle yesterday. This is one thing we need to watch. You do have a head and shoulders pattern here that has, by the way, triggered. There we go. There's your, we'll angle it like that. So we have a head and shoulders pattern here on the HYG that's triggered. The transport's been okay. UPS just reported a good report. They'll be up today. The dollar remains problematic, but at least we have some downward action today after a bigger move up. That is good to see. From a sentiment perspective, it's getting a little interesting. So we've had some changes here that are worth noting. So first of all, on the oscillators, negative 110 now on the NASDAQ. We're on the oversold area. The New York Stock Exchange, negative 165, deeper and oversold. We're not to where we would want to look for a bounce yet, but we're getting, we're heading that direction. Advanced decline lines all curling down. The small caps and the tech, the NASDAQ hit the hardest. Highs making lows continues to narrow here on the S&P 500 plus 50 versus negative 31, getting tighter but still positive. On the NASDAQ plus 87 versus negative 122, it has inverted again, so something to watch there. Your put to call remains neutral, and breadth has turned down here or leading down now on the NASDAQ as well as the New York Stock Exchange. So today we're currently trading at 580.50 area, and we'll see what we get. So right now we're back above the 8 day after breaching it yesterday. We're right back into that area or just close to it right now, 580.50, 82. We're right around there. We take that back. You take back yesterday's candles, I would loop. We'll move back to the 586.12 area. If we can't hold, yesterday we came down and yesterday's low was 574.42. That's the area to watch. Under that, it opens the door for a move down. I would say actually this 565 area would be the next level to watch. 570 doesn't seem to be much support there. All right, so we'll keep an eye and see what we get. Start off with UPS. He just reported it was a nice report. They raised guidance and they're up nicely here. They're trading up into the 140 area. This is important to watch because UPS has a massive gap. So we're going to be watching this today. So it's trading up just shy of the 200 day. The 200 day is at 140.82. If it can take that out and push higher, right, it has room up to 144 area or even all the way up higher to 145. So we will definitely be keeping our eyes on UPS today, and we'll see how that trade comes the open. You could also watch FedEx off of that. FedEx here trading sideways. You can see this one is already up a little bit here in sympathy. What else did we have last night? We had Lam Research. Lam Research had a good report and good guidance. So if you take everything in as a whole, ASML is the outlier so far in the semis. And, this was a nice report and trading up into the 78 area. Right, so nice little move up here and puts it just shy of the 50-day at 79.59. That would be the level to break there. We'll keep an eye on this one, see if it can push. But with that up, we also watch the rest of the names of the sector. NVIDIA, we don't need to talk much about. We know it, one of the best in breeds. Held the 8 day here yesterday, bounced off of it. Right now, it's back above my triggers here, and it's almost back at yesterday's high, 144.42, the all-time high. Eyes on NVIDIA. AMD is like the wounded soldier out there, the one that just can't get off the ground, trading around 1,454. needs to clear a whole bunch here. I prefer NVIDIA or LRCX over that one today as we go forward. Don't forget about Taiwan Semi. Nice bounce yesterday, and this one is up here again. And, we'll see if it can get back above this level and push toward the highs. All of these look good. We also had Las Vegas Sands last night. Um, Good report. Macau coming back to life up in the 53 area, 54.39 is the highs there. Little guy QS reported last night. I don't know anything about what they said, but they like to report, and it's up at 585. Let's see if I can get some information on that one. Okay, nice move here to 585. This one looking to squeeze a bit when it wants to. 200 days sitting there at 604. Trying to get something here real quick. What else did we have last night? We had IBM. They did not like the report. Um, Down here, trading into the 216. It's at all-time highs. So down here a little bit. We'll see what it wants to do, but trading down into the 50-day, we'll see if that holds. ServiceNow also reported last night. Uh, they sold it a little bit. They brought it back on the conference call, and overall, pretty flat here and looks good. Who else reported? Oh, yeah, this little company called Tesla. All right. All jokes aside, Elon, this was a great quarter for them. Um, their margins were better back where they needed to be, up at 19.6% from 14 point something last quarter. That's good. Margins are better. He, on the call, talked Cybertruck on incredible demand, talked about 2026 making 2 million cyber taxis a year, talked about the Roadster was nearing finalization and that there would be no more cars being designed that were not fully autonomous and not designed to be driven by people going forward. It's a very brave thing, but we'll see. So for today, we're up huge, right? We're trading up well above the implied move into this 240.35. That is my sell trigger for the day. We'll see. Point of control is at 238 and 231 areas my buy trigger. Now, when I say this is my sell trigger for the day, it means this is short-term resistance. I actually think it could try to break above that. Okay, if it breaks above that, you can see go out of room back to the highs, and this is a squeeze candidate. So we filled this gap. You're leaving an island bottom. These couple weeks here are now an island bottom if this holds. And if we break 240, I'd like to move up towards 250. And then we know we're going to work our way up into this gap. So don't forget, we have another gap sitting here if this thing really decides to get nuts today. So Tesla, obviously my number one focus. Um, UPS is my number two right now, and LRCX. You take this all aside, everything else, we'll see how we react today. Amazon and my company report next week. This is a big down candle. We'll see if it recovers off of here. Not up much this morning. Same thing with Microsoft and Meta. These all got hit. And Apple. We'll see how they want to recover. Boeing had news this morning and it wasn't good. That nice big offer, which I said was probably way too big and way too much, the union has rejected it. They said, nope, we're not going to take it. So they're back down here. They're trading below yesterday's low. They're back down to this 153.40 area, and Boeing just can't catch a break. So with that said, guys, I'll catch you live at 9. Let's have a great trading, and hopefully my head's a little better today. I just couldn't trade last night. I got just too much of a headache. Catch you guys live in a bit.